What is up, Yeet Nation, to another episode of Cowboys Talk. Today, I'm going to go over the schedule, all opponents, wins, losses, and just a quick rundown of each game. But before I get to that, I want to do a quick rundown of all the other Dallas sports right now. So the Mavericks are, yet again, still in Cancun, but the Phoenix Suns can now join us. Last week it was Grizzlies joining us, now it's Phoenix. The Dallas Stars are doing great. They just took a 3-2 lead over the Seattle Kraken, and they're one win away from reaching the conference finals. So that's pretty dang good. And the Rangers are on a roll. They are 23 and 14 or 13, something like that. And they just beat Oakland 4-0. And Nathan Eovaldi has been on an absolute tear these past 3 games. He's pitched 28.2 complete shutout innings in a row, and overall it's just filling out really well. He's pitched better than DeGrom. Well, for one, DeGrom hasn't really been playing, so that's good. And Corey Seager has just started his rehabilitation at Frisco. But now, on to the main premise of this video. So the last time I did one of these was 2021 season, and that was one of my first gameplay videos. So, that's a bit of lore. So week 1, we are returning to our roots. Week 1, we got the Giants, at the Giants. And I say it's return to our roots because back in the day, the Cowboys and the Giants used to play a lot in week 1. And I think it's because the Giants used to be really bad, and the Cowboys, they were just going to steamroll them. So yeah, at Giants, I think this is going to be a win. This is definitely a very winnable game. The Giants did improve in the offseason, but Darren Waller is like the main guy they got, and other than that, they didn't really get anyone. Their O-line is still a bit shaky to me. Daniel Jones is still their quarterback. I see that as a victory. Now, week 2, oh boy, this is a big one. Home for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers versus the Cowboys. Now, we know how Aaron Rodgers versus the Cowboys typically goes, and I'm not going to say it's going to be the same this time, but the Jets are a stacked team. That defense is probably a top 5 defense. Garrett Wilson last year was the Offensive Rookie of the Year for a reason. This time he's got a much more competent quarterback throwing at him, which is unfortunate to say because I liked Zach Wilson, but unfortunately he was absolute trash last year. And former Cowboy legend Mike White. I don't actually know if he's a Cowboy legend. I don't even know if he played a single game. I see he's a legend because we drafted him in the 5th round. So, yeah. Week 3. This is probably going to be one of the easiest games of the year. We got at Arizona. And I say it's going to be one of the easiest games of the year because the Cardinals aren't going to have Kyler Murray. Most likely, even if he does come back this season, he's probably not going to be back by week 3. So, yeah, this is going to be a very easy game. The defense has some pieces, but overall they're still really bad. And they're going to I don't even know, Colt McCoy throwing the ball. Yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Arizona is a bad team, and they're rebuilding. So, yeah, call that a W. Next up, we got home for the Patriots. This, in my opinion, is going to be the easiest of the AFC East opponents because their offense stinks, man. They have, what's his name? Joe Judge is one of their coordinators, and then the other guy is, what the hell's his name? Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are the coordinators. Their defense, obviously, is very stout. Bill Belichick defenses are usually great. But that offense is trash. Mac Jones has regressed since his rookie year because of those guys calling the shots. So, yeah, stack that up as a W. Head to San Francisco, and oh boy, San Francisco yet again. I'm going to say this is going to be the first loss of the season, even if Brock Purdy's not playing, because I think he's still going to be injured, because he got injured in the playoffs last year. Yeah, their defense is really, really, really good. They're hard to score on. They run the ball really well, although Mozzie Smith might have something to say about that. But I think it's going to be difficult. It is prime time, which is kind of interesting. Cowboys have 6 primetime games this year, which I kind of dislike because I have to stay up really late to watch, but you know how it is. Week 6 at the Chargers. This is also an interesting one because I think Justin Herbert's a very, very, very good young quarterback. And their O-line's pretty good too. Defense is pretty good. Everything about the Chargers is pretty good. But I don't trust Brandon Staley as a head coach. I mean, this past offseason blew a 27-point lead to the Jags in the playoffs. You can't do that. So that's the only thing that's really sus about the Chargers. But are they better than the Cowboys as a team overall? I don't think so. Give me a win for that. We're going to be 5-1 so far. Week 7 is the bye, so it's a bye week. You get rest, you get to heal up. It's all good in the hood. Week 8 for the Rams. The Rams will probably be much improved as opposed to last season because they're going to get Matthew Stafford back. They're going to be healthy. Last season, they were plagued with injuries. And I think the Cowboys actually played the Rams last year, and they beat him, and Tony Pollard had a big run. That's what I remember about that game. But, again, are they better than the Cowboys? I don't think so. I still think Dallas is one of the best teams in the league. They're so stacked pretty much everywhere. And if Dak can clean up his game and not throw, too many picks, which I think he's going to get better at this year, then they're going to win a lot of games. One of those few losses might be the following week. Week 9, they head to Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, as much as I hate to say it, they're just really, really, really stacked. There isn't a single weak spot on that team. I mean, despite all the losses they did have in this offseason, they're still really, really, really good. Jalen Hurts got a bag for a good reason, for obvious reasons, obviously. And overall, I just think it's going to be a loss because it's in Philadelphia. And we know how the Philly fans are. It's an away crowd. You're in a hostile environment. It's going to be tough to win. It's going to be tough to get anything on them because their offensive line is nuts. I mean, if it's a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, you can just count that as a first down because you can't stop them for nothing. I can't tell you how many Philly games I had to watch last year because they would give it to us, and it was like a 3rd and short, 4th and short, and they would just get it easily. It was nuts. So give that a loss. Week 10, we get... Oh, and it's going to be the first... it might be the first Dak and Jalen Hurts matchup because last year we didn't get one, and then rookie year Hurts was nowhere compared to what Hurts is now. So we haven't had a real Dak and Hurts matchup yet, and I think we're going to get that week 9. Week 10, we're going to home for the Giants. Easy victory. Giants just aren't on the level of the Cowboys. And it's at home too, so yeah, give them a W for that. Week 11, Carolina Panthers at Panthers. I'm actually kind of interested to see that game because it's going to be Bryce Young, and he's obviously the most stouted quarterback. I don't even know if that's the right word. The most highly touted quarterback of this draft class. Maybe that's the word. Rookie quarterback, obviously. You could take advantage of that. I don't see this being too big of an issue. I don't know. I think their defense is decent, but it's not better than the Dallas defense. Give me a victory for that game. Week 12. Here we go. Thanksgiving at home versus the Commanders. Quite frankly, I hope we decimate them because I hate Washington for obvious reasons. And it's going to be at home. It's going to be Thanksgiving. Everyone's going to be watching. Put on a smoke show. Demolish them. Sam Howell, get ready because you are not going to be prepared for this onslaught. Week 13. I'm giving a W for that one. Week 13, Seattle. Now, thankfully, this is a home game because at Seattle is one of the more hostile environments. I compare it to Kansas City and Philadelphia. It's that level of hostile environment. So luckily it is a home game here. And it's going to be Geno Smith, the much improved Geno Smith. We'll see if he can continue to, do what he did last season and build on that. And then, of course, you have their defense is pretty decent. Well, it's not decent. It's a great defense. I would give them a top 2, top 3, maybe even the number 1 corner duo. And then they got a pretty good line as well. So it's going to be tough. I think I'm actually going to have a loss for Seattle. And then week 14, we get the home game versus Philadelphia. Give me a win for this one. You know how divisional matchups are. It's usually we split with teams because that's how divisional games are. Very, very competitive. Teams know each other. Week 9, I just give it a loss because it's at Philadelphia. Week 14, give it a home. It's a home game. Give me a win for that one. So far I have a loss versus San Francisco, a loss at Philadelphia, and then a loss at home versus Seattle. Week 15, unfortunately, is going to have to be another loss, I'm thinking, because it's in the cold, and it's probably going to be snowing, probably like 55 inches snow in Buffalo, and it's an away game. So, yeah, I mean, Buffalo, we know, is one of the best teams in the AFC for a reason. They're stacked everywhere. They took Dalton Kincaid in the first round, who I wanted the Cowboys to draft, but they didn't, but I'm happy with Mozzie Smith. So, yeah, Buffalo is just real tough. So, I see a loss there for the 4th loss. And then Miami. Let's see. Miami is a very stacked team, if we're being honest. They got Jalen Ramsey in the offseason as well, but the biggest question is Tua and his health. Is he going to stay healthy? Most likely not. But honestly, they're a really good team. It is away. The weather's not going to be a factor because it's Miami. I say a win for that one. Week 17, a team we actually ended up playing last year, Detroit. Detroit is honestly really, really good, and I think they're going to be hungry because we beat them last year. So, honestly, it might be a loss for Detroit, you know? They're a tough team. And then finally, Week 18 at Washington. This game could mean everything, or it could mean absolutely nothing, depending on how the rest of the division goes. And last year, they got absolutely embarrassed at Washington. Freaking Sam Howell. You gotta be kidding me. It was a terrible game. I can't believe I watched the whole thing. But just give me a win. Why the hell not? Now, if I'm being realistic here, okay, so that's is that 4 or 5 losses? Okay, I gave a loss from San Francisco, at Philadelphia, home versus Seahawks, at the Bills, and then the Lions. So there's going to be 5 losses. So I have them going 13. No. I have them going 12-5. I'm getting mixed up here. CFL game season is 18. CFL starts up in a couple weeks too. I'm super hyped for that. But that's besides the point. So 12-5, I have them going. I have them finishing second in the NFC East behind Philadelphia. So that's just me being realistic. I hope that doesn't happen, because if Philadelphia is finally the one to break the NFC East curse and win the division back-to-back years, that's going to be so heartbreaking and saddening. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But overall, the NFC as a conference is very, very weak. The only teams we got to worry about is San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Detroit, possibly Seattle. But I don't really know how far Seattle could go if they do make the playoffs. But you know, overall the NFC conference is very weak, and I'm expecting a very good season from Dallas. So that's my final record, 12-5. Thank you for watching Yeet Nation. Not sure what my next video will be, but I'll think of something, so I will see you then.